Term life insurance can be a very good option for the majority of Canadians that are looking to cover themselves for a very specific period of time. There are a lot of pros of term life insurance, but there's also a few cons of term life insurance as well. So in this video, we're going to go over the pros and the cons of term life insurance and if it is the right option for you. What's up, guys? For those of you who do not know me, my name is Philip Sutter. I'm the founder and CEO of Affinity Life, where we've helped hundreds of Canadians find the right life insurance coverage at the right price, all from the comfort of their own home. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'll put the link in the description below and you can check it out. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. So just to give you guys a little bit of basics of life insurance here in Canada, we have term life insurance and we have permanent life insurance. So like I mentioned, term life insurance is a really good option for the majority of Canadians that are just looking to cover themselves for a specific period of time. Maybe they just had kids, maybe they bought a house, maybe they have a partner now and they have a job and they have some debt that they want to take care of if they were to pass away. Term life insurance is a very good option for that. Permanent life insurance, on the other hand, is meant to cover you until death. Term life insurance is a what if, permanent life insurance is a when. It's guaranteed to pay out eventually, whether that be, during your life, if something were to happen, maybe you were 50 or 55, or guaranteed at the end, maybe that's 85 or 90. Now we have two different types of permanent life insurance here in Canada. We have whole life insurance and universal life insurance. And I've made several other videos on these topics. So if you're interested in whole life or universal life, just drop a comment below asking for permanent life insurance here in Canada and I will send that to you. However, that's a really good option for people that are now looking towards estate planning. Maybe they're looking passing some to the next generation, maybe to their kids or maybe to their grandkids. Maybe they have a second home, like a vacation property or a cottage, and they know there's going to be some taxes upon death that they need to take care of if they want to pass that down. Well, permanent life insurance is a very good option for that. However, in this video, we're not talking about permanent life insurance. We're talking about term life insurance. So first, let's go over the pros of term life insurance. The first pro of term life insurance is that it's affordable with locked-in rates. And so what do I mean by that? Well, number one, it's incredibly affordable. So if you're in your 20s or your 30s or your 40s or even your 50s, term life insurance is the most inexpensive option. And by the way, you can check out Affinity Life to instantly see quotes to see what your term life insurance would cost for you. However, it's incredibly affordable and it has something known as locked-in rates, meaning that your premium is not going to increase. You're going to lock that in for whatever term you pick. Now, you can pick different terms. Maybe you want a term 10, a term 20, or a term 30. And so during that period, whatever you pick, if you pick 20 years, your term is going to be fixed for that duration. So if it's $20 a month, it's going to be $20 a month for 20 years. The second pro is that it's suitable for a lot of different stages in life and you can layer it as well. And so what do I mean by this? Well, here's the thing. Maybe you just started a family, maybe you're 25 or 30, you just got married and maybe you have a kid, maybe you have a couple kids, you got a job, you have a mortgage, you have a house. Okay, that's great. We can get a term life insurance product at that point. However, you can get in other stages of your life as well and you can layer it on. So maybe you just needed $500,000 at that point. However, as you went through life, maybe you're now in your 40s, you need an additional policy. Maybe you started a business, maybe you started something else. Your need for life insurance has increased. Well, you can very easily just go and layer on another policy. So it's suitable for a variety of different stages in life and you can layer it on as you go. So you can find what your need is at this current time, get that need, and then down the road, if you need more, you can get more. If you need less, you can reduce the amount of coverage that you have. The third pro is that it's a temporary expense. So what do I mean by that? Well, it's not going to be something that you pay for the rest of your life. You're really only meant to use this to cover you for a specific period of time. So maybe that's from age 20 or 25 or 30, and maybe around age 55 or 60, your need for life insurance is zero or it's decreased because now your kids are out of the house, maybe your mortgage is paid off, maybe your partner is more financially independent on their own, and the need for life insurance just isn't as high at this point and you can cancel it and go on your way. So it's not something that you need to pay for your entirety of your life. You use it for that specific period of time and then you cancel it. You wouldn't pay for car insurance if you don't have a car, so there's no need paying for life insurance if you don't have a need for life insurance. Number four, it's a tax-free benefit. Life insurance here in Canada is not taxable 99.99% of the time. And by the way, if you're interested for that other 0.1% where it is taxable, drop a comment below and ask for the is life insurance taxable. I made another video and where there is one unique scenario in which life insurance can be taxable, but term life insurance for individuals is not taxable. And number five pro is it's incredibly flexible. Like I mentioned, you can layer it on, you can pick so many different terms. That's really the benefit of term life insurance is you pick for what you need. If you need it for 10 years, get a term 10. If you need it for 20, get a term 20. There's some companies that do something known as pick a term where you can pick whatever you want. You need it for 17 years, you can get it for 17 years. You need it for 23 years, you can get it for 23 years. So it's an incredibly flexible plan. It's incredibly inexpensive. And for the vast majority of Canadians, it's a good idea. However, there are some cons to term life insurance. So let's get into those. Number one is the coverage is eventually going to end. So term life insurance, like I mentioned, is just for a specific period of time and it will end. And so what happens when term life insurance ends? Well, you really have three options at that point. Number one, you could cancel it and then you could go out and get another contract, maybe at a cheaper price than what the renewal would be, depending on your health conditions, or you just cancel it altogether because you no longer need life insurance. Number two, you can renew it. And essentially what that means is you're renewing it for another duration of the term. So if you pick the 10-year term, it would renew for 10 years. If you pick 20, it would renew for 20 years. And you can do this regardless of your health conditions. And number three, you could convert it into a permanent life insurance policy, but depending on how old you are, it may be expensive, it might not be. Now, again, this is regardless of how your medical condition is at that point. However, term life insurance will end eventually, whether that be at maybe 65 or 75, eventually it's going to end. So if you are looking for a lifelong coverage, that's not a good option. Which leads me to my second con is there is a max age to obtain term life insurance. Usually it's 65 or 75, depending on what company you go to. And unfortunately, at that point, it can get very expensive if you're in your 60s or you're in your 70s, and also it depends on your health condition. So if you're trying to get life insurance later on in life, maybe in your 60s or 70s, term life insurance is a very bad option. I would start looking more at permanent life insurance policies at that point. Which leads me to the last con, number three, is the renewals can be very pricey. So like I mentioned, you can renew your term at the end of the term. Now, the way that the insurance company has this built in, and by the way, this renewability feature isn't in every single insurance company, it's in most of them. So make sure, if this is important to you, that you make sure the contract has this. However, it is usually quite pricey. And so why is it quite pricey? It's because the insurance company is factoring in that there may be some health conditions that arise. Because remember what I said, you can renew it regardless of your health condition. However, if you're still in good health, I would say renewing your policy is probably not the best idea. And it's probably much better to just cancel that policy, go out in the market and find a cheaper product at that point, because the renewals can be quite pricey. So who's term life insurance right for? Well, I would say it is very right for those families that are just growing up. They have kids, they have a house now, they have partners, they might have debt. And if something were to happen to them, their loved ones would be very financially impacted. Term life insurance is the best option for that. If you're looking for lifelong coverage, you're looking for something to last, maybe to pass something down to the next generation, to your kids or grandkids, or maybe a charity if that's important to you, permanent life insurance is a much better option. As well, if you have disabled children maybe, or one child, and you know that you need to be financially responsible for them for the rest of their life, again, permanent life insurance is a very good option, for that individual. Now, where it gets a little bit complicated is where you start looking at permanent life insurance as an investment. Now, this is where it gets complicated for a lot of Canadians, is they say, well, I need life insurance and my advisor told me that I could save this and I could use it as investment. I could use it during my retirement. I would say this very quickly. That's not a good option for the majority of Canadians that already haven't maxed out their RSP or their TFSA and they still have high interest credit card debt. It can be a good option for the high income earners that are looking at other tax strategies to supplement their income. Now, I made another lengthy video where I discuss this apples to apples and I compare it to an RRSP so you can see exactly how this works and how it breaks down compared to traditional other investments. And if you're interested in that video, just drop a comment below asking for the investing in life insurance video and I will send it to you. However, again, it's not a great idea for the vast majority of Canadians. I hope that answered all your questions about the pros and cons of term life insurance. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And if you guys are enjoying this content, all I ask is that you give it a thumbs up and I'll see you guys in the next one.